Hey everyone, welcome to Explore Django. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to set up your project skeleton. So what I mean by that is after you install Django and get your environment set up, you're at a point where you just want to get things running. You want to just render a couple pages and type in some HTML, which you've probably already learned about, and you want to see that HTML be rendered. That is what we're going to do here. There are three different areas that we need to do for that to happen. We need to put in the URL router for the URL pattern that we want to match to. We need to put in a view, and then we need to put in a template. So the view is what's going to render the HTML template after being called upon by the URL. So let's go ahead and just make sure everything's working okay. Now, this is a blank project that I just created with a new Django install and start project, which we did in the last episode. So here we go. Let's go ahead and make sure this is running. Okay, so we are running okay. So first thing we're gonna do is, this is called the project folder, where we have a lot of our project stuff, such as settings and our project URLs, right? So as you can see, it has some explanation about URLs, and it has this admin right here. So let's take a look and see what this is doing. Now, Django has an admin already there by default. It comes with Django, and so we're going to go ahead and create a super user so that we can see that. I need to activate my environment, and here we're going to go ahead and create the super user. What? Where am I? Am I like way deep in source bin activate? Okay. Let's see if that works. There we go. Let's go ahead and do it. Admin, I'm not going to put in an email address, and we will put in our password here. Okay, so now we have our user. So now when we go to admin and we put in what we just created there, we can see our Django admin site. And here's where we'll see our different models, and we can go ahead and edit them and stuff. We'll look at that later, right? But this admin here is recognized. If we put in something here, it doesn't recognize it because the only thing we have right now is admin. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in a URL pattern. If we put in like, if we go ahead and put in like just a blank, right? If we just put in a blank, we can go ahead and do, let's go ahead and do home view dot as view. This the views. Don't worry about this for now. Just know that we need to import a view. Actually, we can't do this here. We shouldn't be doing this here. Let's go ahead and make a new app. So in Django, we have these things called apps. Start app, core. And they're a way to separate your data. So we're going to be making a Reddit clone, and we're going to have different areas. Think about the different areas of Reddit, like an article or a user. So we might have those apps, which we're not doing yet, but we will get into them. So we started our core. Let's see what that did. It created this folder here where we can create, where we have our kind of just blank files that they kind of suggest that you have. And we're going to create one more called a urls.py. And here we're going to create our home page and an about page. So if we do, we're going to do a blank URL here, and we're going to do home template or home view as view, and we're going to go ahead and import it here from views import home view. And also we need to do we need to import that URL here. We need to import this too. Okay, so here this is looking for a blank URL, and it's going to try and go to home view, right? But we haven't created this yet. Our views file is still empty. let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to use Django generic views and class-based views. A lot of tutorials use function-based views, which are good to learn, but the more you use them, you'll find out about class-based views, which are a lot more powerful. So we're just going to start with class-based views, but I do recommend looking at some function-based views tutorials as well to get a good concept on that. So from Django.views.generic import template view. Okay, and then we're going to create our home view, which is based off of template view. And all we have to do is put in template name. So we let it know what the template name is going to be. Let's do home.html. Okay. So let's go ahead and save that. And we have this here, right? A blank URL. Later we'll have like about, and we would do like about, right? But we're going to get into that just in a second. And here we also need to include our recently added. So this needs to be include, and we're going to go ahead and do core.urls. And we also need to add it into the settings in installed apps. Core. And we're going to go ahead and review. I know this is kind of doing a lot of stuff without explaining. We're going to go ahead and review it here once we get it up and running. But for now, let's just go ahead and keep going forward until we can get it to render, right? Let's see if this, we're getting close. We also need to create a template. Templates, and let's do this home. And let's do this Django Explore, and let's do H2. Welcome to Django Explore. Okay, let's see where we're at, because we just typed a lot of stuff. So our server is running. Let's see if we got to render. Okay, so admin, so I have not changed here. We need to do this, and we just want it to be a start of a, we just want it to be a start. Actually, we don't even need anything here. So if you notice before it started with admin, this, we don't want it to start with anything. This is going to be off of the core, so when we want our URLs, we don't want it to be a blank URL or like about, right? We don't want it to be like core. That doesn't make any sense. So we just make it blank. In the future, we'll have other ones that are like articles or something, right? But we just want it to be blank for the course. So let's go ahead and see this. Let's see. Okay, so nothing there. See what we did wrong. Maybe just that. There we go. Okay, so here we go, and we can see our HTML that we put in, right? And let's also create another one called about. We file about.html and go explore. Now you see I'm repeating stuff. We are going to learn how to extend later on, but for now we're just going to put in the full HTML document. And let's do h2 about Django Explore, right? And let's see, we're done with that. We're done with settings, and we want to do another one called about view, and we want to do this to be about. Just really quickly, this means a start of a URL pattern, and this means an end. So we'll talk more in depth about this in the routing episodes, but yeah, that just means the start of the URL and then the end, and we want to look for about with this trailing slash. And we also need to import about view, and we need to create it as well. So we'll go ahead and create it, class about view, and template name is going to be about.html. Right there, right? Okay, so let's see how that works. Oh, something's wrong. About view is not defined. So let's close this. About view. What? It's defined right there. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, I see what happened there. Yeah, I'm dumb. Okay, that's based off template view. Okay, so now let's see if it works. Explore and about. There we go. And if you see it, we'll put in something else and you'll see it that it's not there. It's going to give us a 404. Okay, so what just happened? So remember, we go from our project URLs, which are going to include all of our URL paths for our whole project, right? We have our admin, we have our core. Later on, we'll have like articles, and this is what Django goes to get all of our URLs, right? And so we're including core URLs, and core URLs includes these, right? So when it's blank, it's going to call upon the home view, and when it's about, then it's going to call upon the about view. And if we go into views, we can see our home view calls the home HTML template, which is going to render this HTML document. So that's kind of how the path that Django goes along to get from receiving a request to a certain URL to rendering an HTML document. And there's, of course, a lot of things that can go on in between, but this is the most basic that you can get. So yeah, that's how you set up a project skeleton. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. We're going to keep going, and we're going to learn about a lot cooler stuff too. So until then, happy Djangoing.